Good evening, and welcome to Years of Plastering with me, the Plasterer. Sorry guys, I was running a little bit late there. I nearly got a chance to eat my dinner before tonight, but wasn't meant to be. So I'll have it after. Got to finish up by about 8:30. Mrs. has told me off good and proper. She said, don't mind doing a live stream, but you got to have your dinner by 8:30. Good evening and welcome. I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 36 years. Any questions you've got, you can ask me here tonight. A lot of the regular guys come along. They can answer your questions as well, and we generally just have a bit of a chat and see what's going on. Yeah, where's the summer gone, man? Where's the summer gone? You will be able to, text in. You'll be able to ring in a second. I'll change the screen. We've got a phone number, so you can call the studio. So if you don't like typing, you can talk to me live. Get your voice on the air. Tonight we're going to be going for it. Hang on, let's just change this screen up here. Right. There you go. There's the phone number: 07516 214 983. Hello, Scott. Are you all right, mate? Boo. What you like, mate? Okay. Dear, got to change the scenery tonight. I've got the old water feature switched on in the back garden. Thought it'd be nice to give it a try. Make sure the old pump's still working properly, which I'm pleased to say it is. Expecting most of the usual guys along tonight. If any customers, if you're new to this channel or to this Years of Plastering, basically from a customer's perspective, you can ask any questions you like that you'd want to ask a plasterer. This is also a channel for proper tradesmen who know what they're talking about. That helps me a lot. Newbies, DIYers, anyone that's interested in plastering. This channel is for you, and Years of Plastering is for you. It's on every fortnight at 7 o'clock on a Monday, unless I tell you otherwise. So, welcome along. Hi, Scott. You've been along before, Scott, haven't you? For Years of Plastering. I've got a bit of a time delay on this tonight. I don't know. Well, there's normally a little bit of a time delay, but quite a few seconds behind. So, if you do call in at any point, turn off the sound to your TV or whatever you might be watching on, because it won't be in sync with what you're watching. I finally, as it says, I finally managed to get my hi Ashley, get my latest video up. Well, I say up. I've got it finished. I put it up to YouTube, but and it's on here tonight as well. But you can watch it properly on the channel after Plaster is finished. Nice one, Scott. I was going to post it up, but I realised I put like a 10-minute blank gap on the end of it, which plays on the video, which is no good. So I've had to alter it slightly and wait for it to re-upload. But once we're done tonight, it should all be working and on the channel, so you can watch it with sound and listening to my dulcet tones and expertise on how I render a wall. Okay. It'll probably be up for some criticism here and there. I don't do a lot of rendering anymore, and this is done in direct sunlight. It's the bottom video on the bottom left there, using the old mesh and what have you. But enough about me. I don't know who else is along tonight. I don't know if everybody there is new this evening, apart from Scott. Ashley, are you new along tonight, mate? So, any questions that you've got, anything you want to talk about regarding plastering, and we generally just have a bit of a chat, have a drink. I'm only on the Pepsi when I'm live because having a beer wouldn't be good. Not very professional. Right, what I was going to say. Hi, Ashley. Yeah, nice to have you along, mate. Say any questions you got, just let us know. If you're, hiya James, nice to see you, mate. If you've been plastering for years and you've got any strong opinions about tools, certain tools, whether they're good, whether they're rubbish, any pearls of wisdom you want to share, you can do that tonight as well. It's not just me telling you what I think should be done or how it should be done. And the channel is tonight is for giving you my opinions of things that I do. A lot of guys do things different ways when it comes to plastering. I don't knock any of them. If something works for you, then you go ahead and do it. I'd never tell someone not to do something unless it was something really stupid they were doing. Hi Michael, nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Welcome along. Welcome along. Don't know how busy we are or aren't going to be tonight, but I don't know what's happened to the summer. The old sun's disappeared and it's back to bucketing with rain. It's the longest day, which means the night started drawing in already. I bet it'll be ages yet. I'm sure we're still going to have a great summer. We can finally get out of this lockdown proper, good and proper. Scott, K-Rend, can it be rubbed the next day or does it have to be the same day? I don't know if you can rub it the same day. I don't really use a lot of K-Rend. When I was rendering, I'm a proper old-fashioned sand and cement man. When I've seen just the way the stuff works, it's kind of because you're putting it on and you're kind of scratching it back off, aren't you, to get that finish. I don't think you can do it the next day. I think it's got to be done the same day, from what I know. But the only little bit I've ever done, it was the same day. I didn't leave it until the next day. But it's funny stuff, hard to get used to. And if I do any little rendering jobs now, or like this one I've got down on the screen there, I'll just stick with the old sand and cement. Because I know what I'm doing with that. Dear. Andrew, hi Andrew. Nice to see you, mate. Chris, I know Chris, I ain't seen you for a while. Ever tried the Craft Series trowels? No, I haven't. If you have, mate, tell us what you think of them. Are they any good? Are they rubbish? Ashley, is a wet trowel necessary? Just plastered my first room and I didn't wet trowel it. Just got it flat, so it didn't want to ruin it. Not painted it yet. Yeah, Ashley, there's a good chance if you haven't wet troweled a wall, it can look quite good at that kind of stage while it's still wet. But once it dries, and then especially once you paint it, if you haven't given it a wet trowel, well, until this dries and you get some paint on it, mate, I wouldn't. Yeah, you probably would have been better off to give a wet trowel. But let us know how that goes in a couple of weeks' time. Or if you become a member of, hang on a minute, here we go, the old Discord community. It's on that blah blah that's going across the bottom there. You can join that. It's an app, and you can chat to me and other guys. You can put pictures and stuff up. When it comes to what you've done there, I'd love to see a photo of it once it's done. And if you want any other advice, and it's not like a night like tonight, you can ask it on there. When it pings through, I normally hear it, so I can get back to you on something like that. But hopefully, it'll be all right, Ashley. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, keep us posted on that one. Evening, Mike. Hey, Silva. Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Still haven't had me dinner. I can't get me timings right. By the time I get in and I mess about, I can't get my dinner down before all this cracks off. So yeah, I just want to briefly say, nothing to do with plastering. I'm not majorly into football, but the other night after England played Scotland, the commentators started talking about Harry Kane and saying, "Oh, he's so leggy, very leggy," and then someone else went, "Oh yeah, well the whole team was leggy tonight." And then some other commentator on some other channel started going, "Oh yeah, well we were a bit leggy," and I'm thinking, "Excuse me, what the hell's leggy?" When it's at home, I thought it was a new football phrase. If it is, or if you know what it is, let me know. But I just think they make it up as they go along. Anyway, that's enough about football for tonight. It's plastering we're talking about. Yeah, check the Discord. Actually, that'd be nice to have you on there, mate. And we're slowly building up a membership on there. But while it's quite small, it's quite good for chatting and for getting hold of me as well. Obviously, with anything, once it starts getting a little bit more busy, it's more difficult. But there's only about 25, 26 of us on the actual Discord site at the minute. But it's nice to keep in contact via that. Yeah, sounds everybody. Was you all enjoying the sun before the before the rain came back again? Yeah. So anyone new that's just come on? I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been plastering for 36 years. I'm plastering in South London. Anything you want to know, this is the place to come to and ask questions of me or any of the other guys, and I'll help you out with your DIYer, a brand new plasterer, or a time-served tradesman. England using the poor excuse of being tired, blaming a long season. Is that what leggy means? Tired. Oh, okay, mate. Oh, in that case, I'm leggy all the time. Leggy at work, leggy at home, leggy tonight. But you know, I soldier through. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard it before. I just thought, sorry, what's that? I've heard some terms, you know. I remember the classics, sick as a parrot, and it's a game of two halves and stuff like that. But that's it. We got. And you, mate, yeah. You're leggy most of the time, in a John Travolta kind of a way. James, I used the roll and stroll today on my staircase. Job, such a great purchase, made life very easy. Ah, nice to hear it, James. Yeah, it's good stuff. As I say, it's a bit of a knack of getting it stuck on the treads of the stairwell as you're coming down the treads and the risers. Yeah, getting it stuck to the risers, and then when you're trying to pull it off the roll, it can come away from the riser. But as you might have seen from that other video I had last time he was up, I'm using that top of my steam stripper handle to help hold it onto the riser while I'm stretching the roll out. But it is good gear. Covers the stairs. It's a pity. I think they on purpose make it just short enough that to cover the width of the staircase, you've got to put two lots down. Because let's face it, if it was just that little bit wider, just one lot down the stairs would be great. But then you only use half as much, don't you? And of course, companies like you to use their stuff. Dear. But yeah, on staircases, fantastic. I don't tend to use it on flat areas because I do sometimes, obviously. But just roll out my old plastic and it's quicker and cheaper. Okay? So the lovely people at Everbuild did send me a couple of rolls of roll and stroll, so I'm hoping if I plug how wonderful it is, they might send me a bit more. You never know. Right, what else have we been up to, guys? Anything exciting? Anyone had any major issues at work or anything go seriously wrong? A bit like it's about to on my rendering video here. A few of you have probably seen this bit, haven't you? It happens to the best of us. Here you are, just getting on with it. Oh. Hello. Hello. Oh. Oh, well, that was short-lived call. Was I? Oh yeah. Putting up this mesh is fantastic stuff. As long as your sand and cement is still nice and wet when you're putting it on, which it mostly was in this, but it just got a little bit too dry at one end. It would have been fine when I peeled it off if I hadn't have let it go. I'd have stuck it back on before it decided to hit the deck. Hi, anybody new here tonight? I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer. You can ask any plastering related questions of me or any of the other regular guys that come here every other Monday at 7 o'clock to have a chat, have a drink, have a little bit of banter, and mostly ask questions, hopefully. But it's a friendly community, so welcome along. And you've got any questions at all you want to ask, type them up, or so let's go back to that. Or you can call on this number 07516 214 983. 07516 214 983. And talk to me live here in the studio. Get your voice on there, get a bit of fame. If you can't see it now because of the delay, you can watch it on the video later. And this also comes out as a podcast, so you can just listen to it at your leisure, wherever you get your podcasts. When you're cracking on at work, you think, you know what, I'll have a good old listen to that Ask the Plasterer, because it's quite long. It's quite long with people calling in and chatting and stuff. And so it's mostly me that does the talking, apart from when we do get some lovely guys calling in for a chat. Only problem is, I think all our regular guys here, they've asked every question under the sun that you could possibly want to ask. James, oh no, it's the Ron Stroll thing. Just popped up. Oh yeah. Right. I could do a song and dance, I suppose. Quite a few people on. No one got any questions? No one got anything you want to tell me? No one thinks speed skims are rubbish, or speed skims are wonderful, or extra time is really good. Hi Eddie, thanks mate. Oh, hang on, Ashley. Yeah. Any tips for working around electrical sockets? Should they come off completely? I tell you, if you're doing a room for someone, the ideal is if them or a Sparky, so you don't have to do it, taken the socket faces right off and tuck the wires in, so you can just go around the box, but without the hassle of having to either loosen off socket, pull it forward, or customers that undo them and just leave the whole socket hanging out. And I know we can plaster around them, but it is a pain holding the socket in one hand and going around with the other. So I generally, when I remember, ask my customers to take the sockets off. So many of them still don't. And just makes life a hell of a lot easier. Of course, if they're there, you find them. I have used I think I mentioned before, the indicator dots now that you can use, like if someone's had a radiator off and they put the screws back in the wall, stick the dots on, skim over the dots and bleed through little like red or blue circles. Once you've skimmed, so you can see exactly where the screw holes are, and you can just pop them back out with your screwdriver or whatever. Put the customer's screws back in. Or just go, look there, mate, there's the holes. And it's just not having to plaster around screws is absolutely beautiful. Saves so much messing about, saves you possibly accidentally whacking the edge of your trowel, some flipping screw. I mean, if you stick a match or something in the wall, there's still a pain. You can go straight over the top of these little dots. They're great. And if I plug them enough, I'll get some more free dots as well. Dear. Yeah, right, sorry, Eddie. Eric, any advice on rendering over pebble dash, prep, etc.? Also, is it best to apply first coat, then put on second coat? I always put the beads on when I'm doing my scratch coat. Put my scratch coat on, and then I'll fix the beads over the top of the scratch, but on the same day as I'm doing the scratch, so they go off. So when I'm putting my second top coat on, the beads ain't gonna move, thankfully. Whereas if you put them on the same day you're doing the top coat, there's a good chance you'd whack them or they could move or fall down. Going over pebble dash, mate, absolutely. The amount of gear you've got to put on as a pricking up coat to cover the dash. Well, again, I suppose it depends how rough it is, but it's probably, and how big the job is, probably better to hack it, get a electric Kango and hack it off, rather than. I tend not to go over pebble dash if I can help it. I'm doing a job for anyone. If it's a massive job, like a whole house, I'd get pebble dashers in to do it, or renderers in that just do exteriors. Some of those guys can whack out a job really fast compared to me anyway. Right, did it do? So actually, sorry, mate, I missed that. Working around electrical, pebble dashing. But like it would have been easier. Oh yeah, well normally, mate, you should be able to actually plug an extension lead in one of the other rooms. I mean, I'll get them to keep the power on to the sockets you're plastering over that they've taken off. Obviously, they need to wrap up the wires and tuck them in the wall. And you've got to be a little bit careful. But normally, if the power's on, you've still got to be a bit careful, don't you? So, yeah, I use if they have cut the power off in that room, if I can run an extension lead from downstairs, because normally it should be two separate circuits, upstairs, downstairs. If they have turned off the sockets upstairs, so you've got no chance of electrocution, you can run an extension up from the downstairs power and power your whisk and your lights and all that way. If you what I do, mate, or I just work with the power on. But yeah, with the sockets off the wall, it's just easier. Power from another. So Scott, sorry Scott, speed skim. Okay, not so good on ceilings though. Just the pressure when doing ceilings, a bit wobbly. Yeah, I've found sometimes when I'm using the speed skim on my stilts, because I can use two hands on it, I don't have a problem with it kind of wobbling at all. If I use it on the pole, the extension pole, and do it from the floor, I can find when you're trying to apply pressure to it, then you can get a wobble on it, which ain't so great. But if that's what's causing you to wobble with the old speed skim, get some stilts and do it up on those instead. And I only use the pole if I basically can't get up there to do it from the stilts. Which I did a while ago on one of my last videos because there was loads of furniture in the room and it was awkward to get right to the edges without using the pole. I'm getting the grips finally using the SF blade. First way, it's got to be careful. Blade. Yeah, I hate anything when it comes to the speed skim. A few times I've been rolling it off lovely, and I've gone a little bit too not careful, whacked it with the corner of the speed skim and knocked a chunk in it or out of it. Ow. And had to patch it in. But yeah, it's just a case of being careful, mate. End of the day, you get a bit carried away if it's all going well, and it's so easy to hit the wall with your speed. Michael, hi Michael. What hours do you work, mate? And what time do you do your last mix of the day? If you're there all day. Well, the other day I did my last mix a bit too late. It was gone 3 o'clock. I put some half time in it, speed it up. I was still kind of home by 6 o'clock. But one particular part of the wall where they'd stripped off some foil that was on there previously. I don't know what that was for. And whatever glue the foil had been stuck on with, must have still been some trace of it on the wall. Even though I PVA'd over it, that part bubbled up like a good one because I had an accelerator in the finish. It went off quite quick, so I could just trowel the bubbles out. But I only normally do about 2 sets. I start at 8 o'clock. I normally do 2 sets, maybe 3. I don't like to kill myself. They're normally 2 bag sets. Oh, hang on. We've got someone calling it. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. Who's calling?
Is that Eric, is it?
It's Eric, mate, yeah. Who's that?
Simon.
Hello, mate. You got some questions? If you've got this on the telly or something, you need to turn the sound down because it won't. There's a delay.
All right, yeah. It's only really sort of plaster related because the next plaster is involved. He was invited to a fucking barbecue. He had to bring his own fucking food with him.
Has to bring his own what?
He was invited to a barbecue at the weekend, and the boy that invited him around told him to bring his own food. And I couldn't worry about it. I can't be able to sleep. I have to talk to somebody.
Sorry, mate.
That's not normal food, no.
Sorry, your line's really muffly. I can hear your voice, but it's not coming out too good.
I think my mate who's an ex-plasterer, he got invited to a barbecue, but he had to bring his own food. And I've just not been able to sleep since, so I had to talk to somebody.
He was an ex-plasterer. He had a barbecue. He had to bring his own food. That's what I can hear. Yeah.
But yeah. Like, that's madness, is it not? My head's not been over the ground at all. I just felt I had to tell people.
Oh, fair enough, mate. What, did he invite you to that barbecue and you have to bring your own food? Is that right?
It's pathetic, isn't it?
It's like bring a bottle parties, mate. If it's a bring a bottle party, it's not really a party.
Exactly.
If you invite
Yeah,
no, if you invite to something, mate, it's that the old booze should be supplied. Unless it's meet you in the pub, but then obviously you can do rounds or whatever. Are you a plasterer or?
Yes.
Yeah, been at it for years or not long or?
It was 15 years.
Oh, that's long enough, mate. It's long enough. Are you getting plenty of work?
Yes. Right.
Not getting any trouble with plaster supplies or nothing like that?
No, I'm not learning anyway.
What about cement? You getting cement in Ireland? Because we had right trouble. Had right trouble here getting any.
Fine, as far as I know.
Right, because there was some, I don't know, were just making all sorts of excuses, and it was like gold dust. You couldn't get any in the UK, well, not in the UK. Couldn't get any in England at all. I don't know if that's picked up a bit. I mean, I don't often have to use cement, thankfully, because most of my work's inside. But yeah, that's all a bit diddly. As long as you keep them busy, mate, and yeah, it's the first time you come along to this, is it? Have you subscribed to the channel at all?
No, I haven't. I'll have to get on there once we get off the phone now.
Give it a go, mate. Give it a go. And also on, you're about to see this on your screen or see it a bit later. We've got, here you go, hang on. This is the information across the bottom of the screen. It's for this Discord community. It's like, it's an app. You can link onto it and you can chat with me, other plasterers, the other guys that come along to this. Any questions, you can put up pictures, videos, all sorts of stuff. And basically just have a bit of a banter on there. Because I only do this live once every 2 weeks. And people can leave comments on the videos and stuff. But if you get linked onto this community, then you'll be able to either chat to me or any of the other guys any time of the day, really. Or when you're at work, if you've got any questions about anything. So.
No worries, Jack. Take it easy.
Right, cheers for ringing, mate. And you take care. And yeah, hopefully speak to you again and see you on that site, yeah?
All right.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Bye. Hey, there you go, guys. Easy to ring in. It's called the old number on the old screen. I'm taking it off the screen now, aren't I? If your memory is anything like mine, you're not going to remember it, are you? There you go. 07516 214 983. Right. Have I missed any questions being typed up? I'll talk about my hours, won't I? Yeah, Michael. I do the old start at 8. Normally do 2 sets. Might do 3. I'm feeling really lazy. I won't do a set after. If it was 3 o'clock or thereabouts, I call it a day on the set inside. I might do a bit of bonding, put some more beads up somewhere, prep another room if I've got something else I can prep. But I won't put another set on because I'm getting too old and lazy, basically. I mean, I didn't used to use additives in my gear. I'd use accelerators like in bonding or finish sometimes so I can knock it out a bit quicker. But I can normally put on like a 2-bag mix of multi-finish and get it on and get it done in a time without having to put any additives in it. But I started putting extra time in it just so I can go a bit slower. I think because I've done it a couple of times and I thought, oh, well, I ain't kind of rushing quite so much. So, yeah, I'll have some of that. Which is probably a reason I'm only doing 2 sets. waiting for the gear to go off. But yeah, and if you're doing something really awkward, it's better to have the gear going off a bit slower. But yeah, I like to say I'd never finish after 5, but that's not true. Sometimes I'm on a job, especially if it's a one-dayer, and I need to get it bashed out, and I'll just stay until it's done. As it's getting silly late, and then I'll say, look, people, I'll come back tomorrow, because I always allow when I'm booking jobs in, I tend to allow more time than it takes to do them, and then that way I can either have a day off or say, you know what, yeah, I'm going to come back and finish that tomorrow because I can't be bothered this evening. I don't say that. I would say I don't want to keep people. I don't want to keep them up, so I'll come back the next day. But yeah, it's good. It's nice to start at 8 and finish at 4. If you could be walking off a job at 4, that's good. As long as you bashed out what you want to, and you've given them a fixed price for the job. I don't really do day work anymore. Price work's definitely the way to go, and domestics as well. You'll get less hassle and paid better if you do domestic work. Some builders are great to work for, but with domestics you can get smaller jobs, get them bashed out and get your money, and move on to the next one. But yeah, so I hope that helps a little bit there. It's got speed skim, good to use as a feather edge. Yeah, I use my speed skim for everything. I mean, in this rendering video I'm doing, yeah, that's I'm rolling it off with speed skim. I mean, generally you'd use a metal straight edge, and a longer one than the 900mm speed skim that I use. But as long as it gets it flat, that's good enough for me. SF brilliant for wet troweling. Tips is don't go over same area more than twice when using the SF blade, and leave the surface so dull ready for box trowel. Jump on it too quick. SF, you're talking about the metal bladed speed skim, aren't you? It will start getting confused with using like letters and initials and stuff. 1 to 4. Oh, nice one, Michael. Yeah. 9 o'clock. Oh, mate, I only start jobs at 8 because it's easy to miss all the traffic. Yeah, the speed skim. I mean, I use the metal blade speed skim for my wet trowels before I use the flexible ultra flex on it. A few walls I've done recently, I've left them under the metal bladed trowel and called it a day without going over with my flexi trowel. I mean, I will touch up around the edges and stuff, and maybe give it a gentle hard trowel over when it's done. But yeah, some areas I find that they're coming out quite nice, just leaving it under the metal bladed speed skim. What's we got there? Yeah, hello Peter. Have you ever used Easy Fill to fill in the chasing for lights and sockets? I'll tell you what I use. I use the lightweight polyfiller stuff you can get. I mean, polyfiller's a brand name, isn't it? Any lightweight, ready mixed in a tub. You know it's the right gear because when you pick the tub up, it feels like it's empty, and you can fill, if you need to, you can fill a whole plug socket hole with a tub of that in one hit because it's so lightweight. It doesn't sink out of the hole and it doesn't shrink, so you can paint straight over it once it's dry. And small areas dry in about 5 minutes. Obviously, if you fill a whole socket size hole up with it, it won't be dry in 5 minutes. But there have been jobs where I might have forgotten some silly little hole in a room that I told the customer. You know, when they say, "Oh, could you fill that little hole in while you're doing the main job?" And I don't mind that if it's in the same room. But sometimes I get all the skimming done, the finish has gone off in the bucket, it's not soft anymore. And I think, I haven't done that little hole, and so I'll get my lightweight polyfiller out, just whack some of that over the top, and job done. But easy fill, I only use easy fill if I'm trying to patch up something that's a bit dodgy, which isn't normally my plastering, I'm pleased to say. But if I've got any dips or there are any issues in something, I will use a bit of easy fill over the top. But 9 times out of 10, I'll keep a pot of the lightweight quick dry and filler. Works a treat. No worries, Peter, no worries. Ashley, are there any budget flexi trowels? I feel paying around 50 quid, bit much for a DIY. Yes, only trouble, Ashley, when it comes to like DIY stuff, I mean, obviously the best trowels are expensive, but I normally say, well, if you're a plasterer, then it's worth paying 40, 50 quid, which is more or less what you've got to pay for a decent trowel to buy one of these things. But from a DIY perspective, I don't know if there's such thing as a budget flexi trowel. I mean, you could look for the cheapest one you could possibly get, maybe on Amazon or something like that. But yeah, but if you hardly use it, like any tools really, if you're hardly going to use something, it's not worth paying top dollar for it. If I was doing the odd bit of DIY, patching up a few holes, I wouldn't want to spend 50 quid on a trowel. Same way as other jobs I do. If I'm doing a bit of decorating, I'll buy the cheapest brushes. Whereas obviously a professional decorator, I'll presume anyway, will splash out on decent brushes that cost an arm and a leg, and sheepskin rollers, which are like 30 quid a pop or more. So, and they do a lovely job, but because I'm not a professional decorator, I will just buy a fluffy, chuck it out, £2.99 roller for painting. But if I wanted to do a good job, then I'd splash out on the sheepskin roller. And I suppose it's the same really, mate, with trowels. Yeah, if you can get a decent cheap flexi trowel, good luck with that. And if you can find a fairly cheap one and you find it to be half decent, let us know about it. And yeah, we can tell other people about it. But when I have DIYers or guys that aren't plastering too often, rather than them having to spend 40, 50 quid on a flexi trowel. James, I've got the 1200 plastic speed skim. I keep promising myself to get one of them and then just forget about it till I'm on a job where I think, 1200 would be nice now. 1200 speed skim. Just purchased a 600 plastic speed skim and 26-inch Rafina metal blade spat. Yeah, I mean the more like the spats and the shorter ones are good. I mean, I love my 900 speed skim because it's that kind of just right in between size. 600 is a bit small. Some people just buy a 600 and they ain't got nothing any bigger than that. And if you've just got a 1200, some bits of wall, it's just going to be too big. There's a window in the way or skirting's in the way. But yeah, if you've been using a 1200 and you put yourself a 600 and you've got a 26-inch Rafina metal spat, mate, then nice one. Hiya, Matthew. Nice to see you, mate. If we've got anybody new here tonight and I haven't said yet, I'm Eric Plasterer. I've been a plasterer for 36 years in South London. If you've got any questions, this is the channel and this is the Ask the Plasterer. This is the place to come every fortnight, Monday at 7 o'clock, to ask me or any of the other regular guys a question that are plastering related. You can also join us on the Discord site. Back there again so you can see where that is. Yep, join us on Discord. Ask the Plasterer community server. It's an app that you can sign up to. Doesn't cost anything, and you can chat with me, any of the other guys that are on there at the moment, and any time of the kind of like the day or night, really. Well, I wouldn't say in the middle of the night. I think most of the guys are probably getting some sleep. But yeah, and you can get an answer from me quite quickly because there's only about 28 of us on that thing at the minute, and until it gets really busy, it's quite nice to have a chat on there when this isn't on, or via messages that you can obviously put on my videos, and I should see those as well. Right. Mike, I find it difficult pricing jobs. Any suggestions? I tend to now, Mike, look at something and I know roughly how long it's going to take me to do. I mean, most rooms, if I'm not going to kill myself, I allow a couple of days for a room and then I'll work out what I think I'm worth for the day and times it by 2, which is probably your best bet, mate. You got to think, what can I do in a day and what it's worth. I mean, you shouldn't be doing any room. I mean, unless you live in the Outer Hebrides, if you're in or near London or on the outskirts, or even the Midlands, really, you shouldn't be doing a room, if you include in the lid, ceiling, for under £400-500, including the gear. That can go up depending on the size of the room, but for the average size room, that's what you want to work it out at, mate, and work out how long it takes you. As I say, I can bash out a room in a day, but 2 days is much more comfortable because you've got, by the time you put your plastic down on your floor and you've prepped the walls and you stuck all your beads up, that cuts into most of your first day. That's normally when I get the ceiling skimmed, maybe a wall or 2, and then I'll do what's left of it the following day. So allow yourself a couple of days, mate, and just the only way you can work it out, really. Well, that's the way I do it. It's pointless pricing by the metre. Pricing by meterage or yardage is only something you do if you're working for a company and you're in a big building site and they've got thousands of square metres, and it's okay, mate, we'll pay you this much per square metre, and the more square metres you can bash out, the more money you can make. But again, you've got to be a good spread to make money on meterage. So yeah, hope that helps you, mate. Hope that helps. Right, Matthew. Yeah, Bucky, nice to see you, mate. Off group chat. Watch the rendering video with the mesh. How do you get on with it in the? Wait a minute. How do you get on with it in the render? Not quite sure exactly what you mean. The actual whole video will go out properly. I don't think it's gone up on the YouTube channel yet, but it is playing tonight on here. The mesh, I mean, it's great stuff. When I put that first coat on the wall, and I'm kind of thinking, is this going to stick in there? I say this bit in the video that's not sticking so well because the cement is starting to dry out a little bit because it's basically blazing on sun over 2 days on this one. But when you've got your coat up there, if it's still a nice and soft basically, and you stick it on there, you run your trowel over it, and as you run your trowel over it, the cement comes through, no problem at all, lovely. And then there's only a little bit on this particular video, on this part of it, I've had to put some more render over the top of that mesh. Normally if it's wet enough, once you push your trowel over it, the cement normally comes straight through and covers the whole front of it as well, which you'll see at the beginning of this video when it's working quite well before it starts to dry out a little bit too much. But yeah, no, I love it, mate. It was no problem at all. And you're more or less guaranteed if there were any old cracks underneath that wall, as long as the wall is solid, when you cover the whole thing in a plastic gauge mesh like that, there's no way the cracks are going to come through. You think about it, it's like a massive plastic scrim at the end of the day. I mean, years ago, they didn't use this kind of stuff. You just scratch the wall and you might have put a bit of jute scrim, like Hessian, over some old cracks if they were there. But there was none of this malarkey. But it's brilliant stuff. And yeah, and I've got a scratch in it, no problem. And it's good gear. It's good gear. You can get different thicknesses of it, but you look that up and you pick the kind of stuff you want when you look it up online. I don't think I've put a link to any of it on my on any of my videos yet, but I probably will do. Yeah, that's what you got to watch. The old falling off bit. Oh, right. Right, guys, how are we doing for time? Hang on, put your glasses on. Right, clock me clock. 1947. Not a bad year. Yeah, I still can't get the hang of 24-hour clocks. I need to adjust those on my phone's on the 24-hour clock, and I look at it and I think 18 minutes past 18, 19, what time's that? Okay, it don't take long to work it out, but I just like to look at something and it says 7:30, 7:45, 9:30. Dear. But yeah, if my rendering video there, if it's not up properly on the channel after this, it will be not long after Plasterer is finished, which should be about 8:30 tonight, all going well. But yeah, Bucky, nice to have you along to this tonight, mate. But man, anyone new that's just joined us, if you want to do Pennyworth in, if you've got any questions from a DIY point of view, from like a tradesman, been doing it for donkey's years point of view, from a newbie to the game, welcome along. Any questions you might have, you can ask them here tonight. I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been plastering for 36 years and I haven't seen my day too long. And yeah, a bit fed up with it now. Nah, I love it. It's a living, guys. It's a living. Yeah, this is a place to come to get any of your questions answered by me or any of the other regulars that come along on a Monday once a fortnight. Yeah, once a fortnight I think is just about right. Once a week I don't think I can bear it. Every Monday night I'd be rushing to get home and go, oh God, it's after Plasterer again already. The week can go past quite quickly as it is. A fortnight's just about right at the minute. It used to be random times, but once a fortnight people know when it's on, so they can come along to the live, watch some of the live stream or watch the video afterwards, because it goes up obviously as a video on the channel. If you're watching the video, don't try ringing because obviously there won't be no one to answer the phone. And this also goes up as a podcast probably about a day after this has gone out, so you can listen to it wherever you get your podcast from, and definitely get it on Spotify, no problem. And listen to this lovely banter at work, and maybe get your questions answered while you're working. Anything else exciting happened to anybody this week? I think something might have done. I mean, it's taken me absolutely forever to get this last video up, because I was doing it with two different cameras, and the software I've got will kind of sync the two together, but you have to basically watch through the whole lot, and I don't know how many hours worth this was. And before I managed to cut it down small enough to put it on YouTube so it doesn't bore people senseless, so they skip off of it, it was about 2.5 hours still. I think I've got it down to about 28 minutes, which is good if you're learning or you want to see how I render a wall. Then it's just the right length. You can speed some of these videos up to like 10 minutes, but that's not great. Hello, who's calling?
Oh, Eric's James Coots.
Hello, mate.
Subscribers.
Oh, well done for ringing in, mate.
That's all right, mate. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice to hear someone having people ringing in to hear someone else's voice, mate. Because I mean, I get fed up with my voice, so I don't know what it's like for all the other guys. Listen to me going on and on.
It's good channel, you know.
Cheers, mate.
Because I do this every day as well. It's sort of very handy. I was going to ask you, what do you do with your rubbish? I know you take your rubbish away from your jobs, but you know.
Yeah. In more recent times, I mean, a little while back, obviously I used to take it to the tip with everybody else before they stopped taking trade waste to the tip. And for quite a while, I'm lucky I got a little drive on the front of my house and I could get a skip on there. I had a big skip, which I was using mostly myself for having a bit of a clear out. And then I'd keep it for a while and then just chuck my rubbish into that. Yeah. Last year, I started getting the mini skips. You know, they're about 200 quid a pop for 4 yards. And I was putting that on the front and basically just bringing all my gear home and dumping it in that. And it a 4-yard one lasts for quite a while with just a bit of plastering gear. And then I just kept swapping it over, but I did that for about a year, which was the company I was hiring the skips from that had no problem with it at all. But after a while, you think the neighbours must hate me, mate, because you permanently got a skip out the front.
Yeah.
Which is that's when you drive it just don't look great. So in more recent times, my bin men are pretty good, and I've got the old extra big bin, and as long as you don't like fill it up so ever you can't move it, the lovely bin men of this area will take it away for me. But obviously sometimes I get too much, and at the moment I've got a pile of it piled up in the corner basically in my driveway because it's too much.
I mean, some
of
my smaller jobs, I take a black bin on site and I ask them politely, do you mind if I use your black bin? But obviously bigger jobs, I tend to take it with me.
Yeah, the trouble is, because my missus say, well, look, tell them it's extra money to take the rubbish away, which you should kind of allow for anyway. But it's still a pain to get rid of, even if you're charging them money. And tell them, get rid of their own rubbish. But for the year, I mean, years ago, if you did any, and you probably know yourself, mate, if you do a job for people, they just expect you to take the rubbish away. They don't. You go, oh, there you go, and there's half a ton of stuff they can hardly pick up that you've cracked out of a bucket, and they're kind of like, if it's an old,
it's a bit hard to get away these days. Tip, they don't like us at all.
No, and you got. It's just. Obviously, I like to keep my customers as sweet as I possibly can, so it's not. This is the price. And because I'm going to take the rubbish away anyway, 9 times out of 10, I will put on the quote, this includes taking away your rubbish. So from the plastering, so they know it's getting taken away. They probably know I'm charging a little bit more for taking it away. Because in the past, I would just take it because you could take it to the dump. But as I say, now you can't, mate. So it is a pain. As I say now, although I'm managing to get some that the old dustmen will take for me. And the missus will take a few bags to the tip, but generally I'm starting to get a little pile of it again. So it's awkward. I'll probably end up getting another skip on the drive and make the excuse, oh, well, I've got some junk to get rid of in my garage and up my loft. I'll get another skip in, and then what I've got outside at the moment, I will buggy the skip. But it is an absolute pain. And
it is, mate.
Let's face it, they've only stopped doing it, mate, because it looks good on their recycling record. Because none of them. I mean, all the. Whereabouts do you live? Are you kind of London or?
I'm from Dunstable near Luton.
Okay.
So we're sort of up that way. Yeah.
I mean, do any of your tips take trade waste or?
Yeah, when they're not. Sometimes I go in my missus' car because I've got a van, obviously. And then try and do a bit sneakily,
Yeah.
But sometimes I take a black bin on site and I sort of ask politely if I can use their black bin. They don't mind sometimes.
No, I think I mean, some of my customers say, "Oh, I'm dumping a load of rubbish. Just if you just want to leave it, mate, I'll take it." And I'm kind of like, "Oh, that's great, thanks." But I only feel a bit awkward then if I put, the price includes taking away the rubbish. But they don't normally say, "Oh, don't worry, mate, I'll take it." Oh, P.S. Can I have a discount now? They just go, "Oh, don't worry, mate. I'll get rid of it. I'm going to the tip." And I go, "Oh, right, okay. If you don't mind, that's smashing." But that's fairly rare. But it does happen.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you know any plasterers that use that D-Mod drill? The cordless one. I'm sort of thinking about making a purchase soon. And if you've got any good reviews,
the guys that do have it, they love it, but it is expensive.
Yeah, it is a bit more than the Rafina one. I know that. It's like looking at 400 plus, isn't it?
Oh, easy. You're talking about battery operated?
Yeah, the cordless D-Walt one, that seems to be quite one of the best ones, and also your one, the Rafina, seems to be quite popular as well. Yeah,
I've used Rafinas like plug-in for years because they're just solid, and as long as you can get some power to it. The battery ones are good if you're working on site and you ain't got to worry about carrying around a 110 charger and all that malarkey. But I don't know what you've seen the DeWalt's for, but they can go up for like £600-700 the battery.
It's worth it if it gets nicked, is it?
Okay, well that's the only thing. If I was going to spend that much money in it, I'd probably take it to bed with me just to make sure that no one nicked it if they got into the house. But
I was was going to ask, you know, your polythene that you use on the floor. I noticed that. What tape do you use for the sides? I know you use some sort of fragile tape.
Oh, I've just. Prior to using that, I was using some just extra wide clear tape, which was great. The only reason I don't get that fragile one is because it's the only one they do that's not the. You can get brown parcel tape, but that stuff is horrible. And sometimes if you put it on a hard floor, it gets really stuck to the floor. If you've got a clear tape and you have any trouble getting that off of a hard floor, at least it's clear. It can't leave any kind of print. Whereas if you've got some kind of print on it, but it just happens to be the one that says fragile. I say a lot of my customers go, "Oh, do I have to be careful? Is it fragile around the edge?" And I go, "Well, it is a bit, but it just happens to be tape with fragile written on it. It's not particularly fragile." But I know. I just
tiptoed up the stairs.
So, I just get it in B&Q. But which is
I just bought some of that masking tape from Tool Station.
Which one?
Pretty good stuff. Pro Deck. I don't know. Do you use much parcel tape with your plastering?
Which tape?
It's called Pro Deck. From Tool Station.
Yeah, what are you using it for?
Sometimes when I'm plastering up to coving or around light sockets and stuff, I might tape it up or around sort of doorways and stuff.
Oh, what? Just so you got a neat edge and you ain't got to worry about wiping it down.
Do you tend to use masking tape, or do you just sort of clean it up at the end?
Yeah, when it comes to skirtings and architraves around doors, I tend to just clean it up at the end. Take a wet brush up it, and then I've got microfiber cloths which I use to kind of just dampen down and just give it a good old wipe. Any windows and stuff I'm going round.
Sometimes it can take off a bit of plaster when you're ripping it off if you're not careful.
Yeah, you've got to be careful of that. And what else? And of course, I mean, I spend quite a lot of time covering my floors because I like to make sure that when the job's done, it's easy to pick it all up and it's nice and clean. The customer's happy as Larry. But because that takes a while, if I started taping up around architraves and stuff as well, I'd probably be spending most of the first day just prepping, protection before I even get my PVA out and give it a coat. So I tend to use the wipe it down method. As long as you don't leave it too long before you wipe it down, otherwise then it starts to get a bit more awkward to get off, like anything else, mate. But I appreciate the advice, mate. And, no worries, mate. Appreciate you ringing in and joining the club, mate. Joining the club. You've subscribed to the channel, haven't you?
Yeah. It's funny because my brother listens to it as well, but he's on my YouTube account, so we're both on James Coots, and his name's Richard. I keep telling him to make a new account because it looks like James keeps messaging all the time. It really is two of us using.
Oh, okay, mate. I believe you.
I mean,
it's not difficult, is it?
Subscribed, so it's pretty good.
Nice one. Have you joined the old Discord server as well or not?
No, I haven't. I'm not sure my brother has. But,
you need to do that, mate. You need to do that as well. Just so it gets more of us on there. But it's good to be able to have a chat on there or ask questions or whatever else. When it's not Ask the Plasterer, or just rather than just leaving a message on a video. But join that as well, mate. Join the community.
Yeah, will do, mate. All right, nice speaking to you, mate.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks for ringing in. Really appreciate it. As I say, it's nice to get another voice on the flipping on the live stream. So thanks for that. I really appreciate it.
Cool, mate. Speak soon.
All right, mate. You take care. Don't work too hard. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
That's it, guys. Come on. This is good. Getting a few more phone calls now. I'm gonna keep pursuing the old phone call malarkey because it's just it just makes a change from having to just listen to just me. Even though, of course, I'm not answering your questions that you're typing up when I'm gabbering away on the phone. Right, what have I missed? Mark. Matthew, is it? Yep. Mark. All right, really good channel. Thanks, mate. I'm learning loads. That's good to know. Oddly enough, I had a 1200 spree skim, ended up selling it. Just felt too big for most jobs. I think a lot of us really appreciate the... the 1200. Sorry, Mark, I hope you're still there, mate. You haven't gone off while I've been waffling. 1200, I mean, I would like... I've promised myself I'll get one, and I just don't get around to ordering one. because sometimes, most of the time, my 900 is a pucker length for doing most jobs. Just occasionally I think, I've had a 1200 for this bit of wall now. I could just walk along, more or less get the whole wall top to bottom, which obviously I can't do with my 900. But yeah, you probably don't usually have to use a 1200 that often. And again, it depends how many large areas you're covering on a day-to-day basis. All right, question. When troweling, is it possible to use too much water? I've done a few walls with multi-finish. They feel great, i.e. smooth, but they look horrible. The only time you can use too much water on finish is if you're doing it too soon. And you keep going over it, you could. But mine normally, rather than being streaky, normally that would just start to cause you issues with bubbling up and blisters and stuff. You only need really, when you're troweling up, you need to put water on a couple of times and then leave it, and then you could give the wall a hard dry trowel once it's like gone off, just to give it that extra nice kind of finish. And if you're getting a kind of a streaky look, as long as you can't feel it, mate, and the wall is smooth, that's all that really matters. I know sometimes you can look at a video that's been done, and you think, oh yeah, that guy's walls, they're all nice and like that pinky brown colour, and they all look the same. There's no streaks or tiger stripes. But in some instances, some walls that look like that, you find that they're smoother and flatter if they've got tiger stripes. But yeah, you can put too much water on a wall if the finish is still too wet. But if it's more or less nearly gone right off, then putting more water on it and troweling it up just means you'll start to get more of a polished finish to your plaster, which can look quite pretty, but at the end of the day, it's a bit of a waste of time because it's only going to be painted anyway. I don't think if you do get it a little bit shiny, I don't think it matters that much to a decorator because they'll just go over it with a bit of sandpaper before he paints it, so it's not a big deal. I'm new to all this. No worries, Mark. Yeah, that's what this channel's for, mate. And what Ask the Plasterer is for newbies and guys that haven't been plastering that long, 5 minutes, 5 years, or for donkey's years. This is a place to come and ask you questions. So it doesn't matter if I put on a mist coat and proper coat after. But should I be careful over spray or water? No, not when it comes to anything like that, mate. Yeah, you put if you're doing the painting and you put it on a mist coat, then it covers, well, the decorating covers most marks you get, unless you've got dips in the wall or gappy bits where bits are missing or it's really rough. Obviously, that'll show through a mist coat and paint, but if it just looks a bit streaky, but it doesn't feel streaky, then you should have no problem once you get a coat of paint on there. I know you finish at 8, so happy. Oh, it's about 8:30 actually, Mark. But yeah, it goes on about. We go on about start at 7. Normally end up finishing about 8:30. Just so I keep a rein on it because I've gone on till about 9 o'clock before. And apart from the fact it makes the video really long for anyone else that might want to watch it later, which ain't a big deal. I can end up talking for flipping hours. And people can only take so much of listening to me go on and on. So yes, mate, I'm still here. Oh, you're still there. Oh, good. Right. Yeah, no worries, Mark. No worries at all. Yeah, I'll try and explain as best as I can about most things when people ask. Yeah, well, have a good evening. Cheers, Mark, and you, mate. And yeah, thanks for coming along tonight. Where are we at on the time department? Oh, 6 minutes past 8. Yeah, I'm happy to go on for a little bit longer, just in case there's any new people out there that have only just come onto the channel and want to ask any questions. As I say, you can type your questions in if you're new to this Ask the Plasterer, or you can call in on the phone number, which is 07516 214 983, 07516 214 983. Just make sure that this is definitely live and you're not watching the recording. Otherwise, there'll be no one to answer the phone. But if it is live, give us a call. You can speak to me in the studio, rather than typing, and it makes a nice break for the people that listen to me most of the time. Or you can just type your questions up, no problem. If you're a customer, you want to know anything you might want to ask a plasterer, you can ask me, and I will do my best to answer your question. If your time serves and you just want to give us some of your wealth of experience, whether it's about tools or the way you do a certain job, happy for you to ring in or type in and give us some of your knowledge. That's not just me. Yeah, cool. Oh, excuse me while I have another drink. I start to look really forward to my dinner, which I found I'm getting so used to having my dinner after Plasterer that if I have it before, it'll be a bit of an anticlimax, because when I'm done, rather than thinking, oh yeah, let's have that dinner and have a nice beer with it or a glass of wine or something, I'll be, I've had my dinner already, haven't I? Oh well, might as well just get ready for work tomorrow. Right, coming in, guys. Have you got any questions? If you haven't, I mean, I don't mind finishing up early if you've had enough for one night. Right, for any of those of you that don't know, I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been plastering for 36 years. I'm a plasterer from South London, and Ask the Plasterer is the place to come to ask any questions that are plastering related. And I'll do my best to answer those, or any of the other regular guys that are here can also answer your questions. What else? Yeah, this is on once a fortnight on a Monday, 7 o'clock. You can also leave any questions on any of my videos, and because the channel's not massive, I'll get back to you on those, no problem. Also, you can join the Discord server, which is our community forum where you can ask questions anytime, basically, and get an answer pretty pronto from either me or, again, one of the other guys. You can put pictures up on that. You can post videos on there. You can live chat with me or other guys on there if you're so that way inclined. Want to do that, or we can just type to each other on there as well. It's anything you can do social media wise, you can do it on that Discord site. So all the links to the Discord site are in all of my videos. So just click on that. It will send you an invite, and just follow the instructions, and hopefully see you on there. Any more questions, guys? Or do you want to? Or should we have an early one? I think we'll have an early one. If no one else tonight has got any other questions, and it's time now. 8:10. Then I will sign off and go and have my dinner. But yeah, thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining us on the old live stream. That makes a change to finish a bit early instead of late. And I will crack on and make sure that my video has actually gone up onto the channel. You can get a bit of audio on that as well, and hear what I'm narrating over the top. Mind you, you probably won't want to hear any more of my voice this evening. Right, cheers everyone. Have a good rest of your evening. I will, as I normally do, look for the switchy offy button. And thanks for coming along, guys, and really appreciate your We're getting stuck in, and for we've had 2-3 calls tonight, which is lovely. It makes a lovely change. Yeah, cheers, James. You have a good week, mate, and I'll see you on the Discord server. And get your brother to sort out his own account. Right, nice one. Right, here we go. Hold on. No, it's not that one. Okay, this is Eric the Plasterer signing off until fortnight's time, and I'll see you again. Don't forget this goes up as a podcast, so you can listen to it again, or you can watch the video when that is up, probably later tonight or tomorrow morning. This is Eric the Plasterer signing off. Through the pip. See you soon. Cheers, guys.